Previously on Nerdword, Side Stories. A true crime that's fiction.
And Ned knew something he had kept buried for 22 years.
Ned wasn't just carrying a grudge. He knew the truth, but no one ever listened.
And now, the only man who might have been able to explain was lying in a morgue.
We had spent weeks chasing this story, trying to understand why Ned Farnsworth would kill Carl Pipkins, but we still had one question left. Was Ned a murderer, or was he finally getting justice?
We got a warrant for Carl Pipkins' house, his basement, his storage units, and what we found changed everything.
They found her, didn't they?
We found her necklace buried under the floorboards.
Carl Pipkins had kept a trophy from a crime the whole town had forgotten.
And Ned, he had known all along.
The question is, did Ned really kill Carl out of anger? Or did he know that no one else was ever going to bring him to justice?
And more importantly, was Ned really working alone?
Because there was one more thing we found at Carl Pipkins' house.
A second necklace.
And this case isn't over yet. Welcome to Nerdword, an electron-induced vocabulary edutainment podcast for building your speech, confidence, and brainceps.
Churlish, rude, surly, or ill-mannered, lacking civility or graciousness, difficult to work with or deal with, uncooperative, characteristic of a churl, a peasant or laborer, rustic or crude.
Today's nerd word is
Churlish.
like girlish.
No, like
Are you sure?
churlish.
They rhyme though, so they should be synonyms.
That is how it works. Yes,
I believe it is.
indeed.
Okay, have a good the rest of your day.
You're so churlish.
Am I?
Yes.
Get out of here.
Churlish means of or resembling the characteristic of churl.
That's
Now,
stupid.
I'm going to stop right here because
Give a better definition.
I am going to give a better definition.
Okay.
But wasn't there kind of a rule in elementary school when
you
they
can't
asked
define the word with a word.
Yeah, you can't define the word with a word.
Who did Miriam do that?
This is Miriam. Now, I will explain why they did this, but the second
you
and
call
third definitions are marked by a lack of civility or graciousness,
Okay.
difficult to work or deal with.
So rude and ill-mannered.
Yes.
Okay.
But let's go back to our first definition, which is resembling or characteristic of churl.
Is churl a person?
It is a person.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's exciting.
so
Who's churl?
When I saw this, they had churl hyperlinked, so I clicked it, and it is a lowly peasant from feudal England pre the Norman conquest. That was important to the article.
Oh, yeah.
And essentially, the definition of churl was a lowly peasant, i.e. a rude or ill-bred person.
One question there with that definition.
Yes.
How do you get any lowlier than peasant?
Well, technically, these were the free peasants. They had no debt, and they weren't required to work for the feudal system. So they were just villagers, and therefore lowly.
Okay.
Between the 5th and 11th century, this was who they were.
I know back then there was some major problems with houselessness. So
You're so politically correct. I love
Yeah.
it. Yes, I thought that was a delightful nugget
yeah.
in my discovery of what this word means.
You just said nugget in a podcast, which means you need to follow up with, let's take a deep dive.
We are taking a deep dive literally every time.
Yes, but I ain't.
Literally. We're going to unpack that later, why you hate that.
Oh, good. Another podcast cliche.
But
That was a great question.
It was a great question. Let me answer with an even better question.
Yeah.
I think that the most appropriate definition here is marked by a lack of civility or graciousness.
Yeah. Very clear.
But difficult to work with also fits. But if you were uncivil?
You know, it doesn't even have to be lacking civility. I mean, yeah, you can have that, right? But it's not always lacking civility, right? You could just be ill-mannered or rude,
But wouldn't both of those be a lack of civility? Because if you're civil among everything else, you're very amenable.
yes.
And you're just kind of, you're not ruffling feathers. You're not being mean. You're not saying bad things. You're just kind of,
Well, let me give you an example of a character type that is churlish, that is not lacking civility.
okay.
I'm going to do my best, and you see if you can guess. Well, you'll know just by the script. There will be no foolish wand waving or silly incantations in this class. As such, I don't expect many of you to appreciate the subtle science and exact art that is potion making. However, for those select few who possess the predisposition, I can teach you how to bewitch the mind and ensnare the senses. I can tell you how to bottle fame, brew glory, and even put a stopper in death. Then again, maybe some of you have come to Hogwarts in positions of abilities so formidable that you feel confident enough to not pay attention. Mr. Potter, our new celebrity.
Severus Snape, I think, is a little bit more than churlish.
Well, you know, he doesn't really say terrible things always, but in his tone, the way he delivers, which I cannot, no matter how hard I try, I cannot come across as sounding churlish. And you know, his voice, it just sounds rude.
He does sound, but again, I think that's why the magnitude of churlish isn't enough for Severus Snape. You need a harsher word to describe him.
But he's not truculent because he's not a bulldozer.
But he is kind of.
He
bulldozes those who are lesser in power or position.
maybe
He doesn't go up the chain, he goes down it.
practices invective.
I don't know. Truculents are tyrannical leaders, isn't it?
But invective, like, and it's got the
That's true.
proper rhetoric.
He does have the rhetorical skill.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
Imagine Snape saying invective.
Yes.
He would even
With
say
his like weird intonation. I love
Yeah.
it. What a great character.
How do you do that? I gotta go practice that.
Yeah. That's a voice to practice for
It
sure.
really is.
I like, what was the descriptor that you used?
Which one?
For not rude, but
Ill-mannered.
ill-mannered. That's pretty good. One of the other, well, there's a couple of synonyms that I really liked, but boorish was the one that they
Ooh.
used a couple of times in the Did You Know section of Merriam-Webster's review on the word.
Unpack boorish for me real quick.
Well, boorish is ill-mannered.
Okay.
You're a brute and you are flouting any kind of traditions or civility to just do whatever you want to do. The other one was loutish, which is almost the exact same, except instead of calling you a boor, B-O-O-R, I'm calling you a lout, which is a gigantor who just like,
Do it again.
I can't. It's pretty good.
Yeah. We have some studio disturbances.
Yeah. There's a disturbance in the force. She doesn't like it when we stand up.
She's churlish.
My favorite synonym,
Is...
uncouth.
Oh, yeah. That fits. So,
Right?
Yeah.
Isn't that so appropriate?
And we all were probably raised with that word, uncouth, because
Yes.
their grandmother said that.
But that's ill-mannered to a T, no?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can swap out anytime you want to say uncouth, but you don't want to say it because it's a word from the 40s.
Yes.
You can
But
say churlish.
we should say uncouth.
We should.
We should really bring that back.
Stop being so churlish. Yes.
So when Merriam-Webster gives the definitions, it gives the synonyms based on the usage.
Yeah.
So if you're using it as saying characteristic of churl, the synonym that they give you is vulgar, which I think is funny. Like, why are we being so mean to the peasants? What did they do?
Yeah.
The second,
They make the world go round.
marked by a lack of civility.
dead.
I'm not dead yet. Marked by a lack of civility or graciousness, the synonym was, take a guess,
Truculent?
surly. And then difficult to work with or deal with, the synonym, which this is also a really good word, is intractable.
Oh, yeah. That is a good word. Intractable.
Yeah. I think we should also do
We should come up with it. Yeah.
incorrigible. That's one of my favorite ones about
I just
being difficult to work with.
mispronounce it. I want to say uncorrigible.
Incorrigible.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Yeah. Anyway,
being
so this is a good
incorrigible.
one. And this one I feel like isn't so out of touch with regular language that you couldn't use it. Invective, somebody's going to be like, what? Churlish, you might just be like, oh, you're so eccentric.
Either way, you'll sound smarter and you'll do better on the GRE and the SAT.
That's true. And, just life. Interviews, call maybe not your potential boss churlish, but, use it.
Call your previous boss churlish.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
In your interview for your new boss.
When they ask you about a difficult experience that you've had, tell them that your clients were churlish, but you were amenable.
Yes.
And the friction was just too much to stand.
Their hate-filled speech was full of invective on the phone, and you just handled everything with...
You are not a truculent person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you are a go-getter.
Go-getter.
Yeah.
You got to come up with a better word for that.
Yeah.
Next week's episode.
Coming up. Go-getters.
Nerd Word is a Revision Sound production. If you love what you hear, subscribe or head over to our Patreon account.